Hi there, year ones. I hope you had fun having a good go at doing instructions on how to make a jam sandwich. We are going to continue working on instructions today, and we're going to be talking about something called imperative verbs because they help you out when you are writing instructions. But for us to understand what imperative verbs are, we kind of need to work out, well, what on earth the verbs mean. Okay? So, we have talked about this in class. So you might have forgotten because it's been a while since we've been in class. But have a chat with the person. I was going to say with the person beside you, as if you were in class. Now have a chat even with somebody around you there, maybe your mom, your dad, your brother and sister, and just have a chat about what is a verb. Pause there and have a quick chat. Okay, and a verb is an action word which describes what someone is doing. Pause again in a second and just have a chat with your mom or dad or brother and sister about what, if you can think of any verbs. Okay? Brilliant. So one verb you could have is jump, laugh, sing, cry, or clap. Okay? And I'm sure you guys can think of lots of other ones. But that's not we are going to be talking about verbs, but we're really going to be talking about imperative verbs. So what on earth, first of all, why do we need to use imperative verbs? Well, imperative verbs are used all the time in instructions. Okay, we'll come back to that in a moment, but they are used all the time in instructions. So we're going to talk about imperative verbs. Well, what on earth are imperative verbs? It's such a strange word. They used to be called bossy verbs, but then some adult came along and said, actually, do you know what? Let's call them something that children will instantly forget. Okay, but we're not going to let them do that. We're going to remember this word or this phrase, imperative verbs. Say it, pause and say it 5 times. Imperative verbs, imperative verbs, imperative verbs, imperative verbs. We are not going to let the adults get away with changing the word so that you forget. Okay? Imperative verbs. Right, well, what are imperative verbs? They are verbs which tell you and the reader what to do. That is why bossy verbs was a great name for them. But remember, adults want you to forget, but you're not going to do that. You're going to remember that they're called imperative verbs. They're verbs, so again, they're verbs which tell you what to do. You often see them at the beginning of a sentence, and they create a command. Okay, so it's telling you what to do. Okay, it's not asking you to do something, it's telling you to do something. So maybe your mom or dad or your brother or sister might see you playing around with your lunch and might just go command you with a bossy verb, an imperative verb at the start of the sentence. Say, eat your lunch. Okay, you're telling them what to do. Tidy your room. Okay, you want the reader to know exactly what you want them to do from the very start of the sentence. Tidy your room. Can you spot any imperative verbs in this example of instructions? Okay, just pause it there and see if you can spot any. So, here's one. Make a small hole in the box near the top. Push the rope through the hole. Leave one end longer than the other. Tie the rope in a knot. Put the box outside. Okay? So I'm sure you would have noticed. If you haven't spotted them, see if you can spot the rest. Okay? So, why do we use imperative verbs in instructions? Well, it's all for this fella, the reader. Okay? Remember, we're telling this week we're thinking about reception children. We want to tell the reader exactly what to do. Okay, we don't want them misunderstanding us. So we tell them straight away what we want them to do. Make a small hole in the box near the top. Use the stick to prop up the box under the rope. Okay, so these are bossy verbs. These are imperative verbs. Okay, they tell the reader what to do straight away. They're commands. We're not asking them to do anything. We're not being polite. We're telling them what to do. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do, we're not going to write any more instructions for the moment. We'll get back to that tomorrow. I want you guys to be bossy today. I want you guys to show me videos of you telling maybe your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, or even maybe some of your teddies. You're going to give them some commands, and you're going to use those imperative verbs. So you could say like, tidy your room. wash your hands. Okay, so remember to put that verb, that doing word, at the start of the word. Okay, and when you do it, you can sound really bossy. You can stamp on the floor if you do it. Wash your hands. Okay, and if you want to, and I do recommend that you do, I have put up on the website a worksheet that you can be doing on imperative verbs. Some of the reading might be a little bit difficult, so do get your mom or dad to help you maybe, or you might be able to do it yourself. But you will notice that they come at the start of the sentence, okay, to commanding people what to do. So, I give you permission, ladies and gentlemen. Well, actually ask your parents as well, but I do give you permission to be bossy today, okay? If you don't want to do any writing, just come up with sentences and be really, really bossy, and then put them up on Seesaw. Put them up on Seesaw. I'm giving you a command right now. Okay? I can't wait to see all your bossy, all your commands with those bossy verbs, or as you are going to always remember, it's in your long-term memory now, imperative verbs. Thank you. We will talk to you tomorrow.